Bwana, asante sana Baba, asante sana Bwana, asante sana, asante sana In March of 2023, I spent 10 days in and around Mombasa, Kenya. Mombasa is a port city on the Indian Ocean on the east side of Africa, and it's about 1.3 million people. In this episode, we go to Kwale, which is a county just outside of Mombasa. To get there, we have to cross the Likoni Channel, and we do that by way of a ferry. The ferry ride could last anywhere from 45 minutes to a couple of hours, depending on what's going on in the channel. As always, on this trip, I was escorted by my security, who took great care of me, and my host as well. There are also ferries that primarily carry pedestrians or people on motorcycles or bicycles across the channel as well. After crossing the channel, we moved away from Mombasa. These smaller cities, still a lot of hustle and bustle with people selling their wares in these little booths and stores. Plenty of activity as you move through some smaller cities of Likoni out towards the more rural area of Kwale. Moving away from the coastal area, obviously the terrain changes and we get to see different views and a much more sparsely populated area with small houses and huts along the way. Now, we're still on a paved road at this point, but about to get onto a dirt road. As we have moved off of the paved road onto the dirt road, we find more homes and people around their homes. No real businesses to speak of. There's a school and multiple schools in the rural areas, and it just so happened that these children were outside doing some sporting activities as we went by.
What do you call it? Inter. So you have city, village, and then interior.
But as we drove along this dirt road, there came a point where we had to abandon our car and instead go with some motorcycles. Yeah, I rode a motorcycle on this dirt road. They call them bodas or bodas. And my driver did a great job. I'm sure when he saw me, he looked at me and said, "Oh man, this guy is way too big for my motorcycle." But did a great job, and this thing carried us all the way through as we needed to go. But look at these views. I mean, it's just amazing. Just the things you would expect to see in a rural, at least for me, what I expected rural Africa to look like. It was exactly like that, but better. And so, a good time. We probably rode for about 20 minutes to get to where we needed to go, and it's a pretty good distance on a little motorcycle, a little dirt bike, really. Upon arriving at the church in Kwale, I looked out the window and it was just so peaceful. It was so serene, so beautiful. It seemed like I was a million miles from Mombasa, the hustle and bustle. It had taken us about 2 to 2.5 hours to travel from where I was staying to this location, and just wonderful, wonderful views and wonderful people. Pastor Cosmas was gracious enough to give me a rock from his church floor. I collected several of these from the churches I went to while I was there. No church mouse in this sanctuary because the cats would take care of it. The worship music was vibrant, the spirit was healthy and alive. I enjoyed preaching there and hopefully shared a message that was helpful to them, after which I was able to present a stack of Bibles to Pastor Cosmas.
Receive these Bibles,
Pokea Biblia hizi,
the Word of God,
neno la Mungu,
and be blessed.
na mbarikiwe. Pigia Yesu makofi mazuri.
As you can see and hear, they were very excited to receive the Bibles, more so than anybody I've ever met. I guess that's what happens when you don't have very many copies for yourself. This is the leadership team, very welcoming. I believe I was only the second Mzungu American white preacher to come to this village, and so it gave us an opportunity to get to know each other as new people to each other and new experiences. I enjoyed getting to know the young people.
Bicycle is made out of wood, no metal. It's got wood. Only the wheels are metal. And all this is wood. Can you ride it? Bicycle made out of wood has a brake. Yeah. So he can brake as he goes down. Look at that. Yeah. That's perfect. That's great. Unbelievable. Creativity. Yeah, which comes in handy when you're going down a hill like that.
It was a school day, and there was a school probably a quarter of a mile away. But the children had come down to the church to share in lunch and to visit with me. And so we took a time for questions and answers, and that was very fun.
How many children do you have?
I have 3 children.
Ana watoto watatu.
1 boy,
Kijana mmoja
2 girls.
na wasichana wawili.
They are in their 20s and 30s.
Wako katika miaka 20 na wengine wako na miaka 30.
I have one grown grandson.
Na ana mjukuu mmoja.
He's 2.5.
Ana miaka 2.5.
And then my daughter is pregnant.
Na msichana wake ni mjamzito.
It's my second grandchild.
Yuko karibu kupata mjukuu wake wa pili.
He will be born in June.
Atazaliwa mwezi wa 6.
3 months away.
Miezi 3 kuanzia sasa hivi. Mwingine mwenye swali? Okay, which country are you from?
I'm from the United States.
Anatoka Marekani. Ama kwa kizungu Amerika. Mmezoea Amerika, si ndio? Kwa Kiswahili ndio Marekani. The village? Just cover the village.
Kijiji.
Yeah, okay.
Nashville.
Kijiji kinaitwa Nashville.
Ana bibi wangapi?
She's asking how many wives do you have?
So I can answer this question straight up, or I can have a little fun with it. You know me.
4.
We,
4.
1.
I only have 1 wife.
Anasema ana bibi moja peke
There's
yake.
only 1 woman
Ana mke mmoja
who
peke
could
yake.
love this guy.
Yeye huyo mwanamke ndiye alimpenda peke yake.
She's good. That's funny. Okay.
I tell you karibu, welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Asante.
Hi.
Hello. It's good to see you. What are they cooking?
They are cooking tea. Si mnapika chai? Yeah, they are cooking tea.
All right. Yeah. So they're cooking on the wood and the rocks.
Using firewood.
Yep. And then, so they have two sections, 2 areas.
2 sections of
Okay. And then it goes out to there.
this is the kitchen.
Sounds good. Thank you. Asante.
I'm telling to be present.
Okay.
Will you take a photo with them?
Yes. That'd be
Pastor Cosmas and his team made me feel right at home. So after the worship service and distributing Bibles and visiting with the people of the community and talking with the young people, I sat down to have some food, some Kenyan tea, and some good conversation. As we enjoyed good fellowship, I began asking Pastor Cosmas some questions about his life, about the church, about the community. And at one point, I asked him what the strength of his church was. What was the strongest point of the church? And he said, they believe in prayer. They're a praying church. They believe God answers prayer. I then asked him what their greatest struggle is. What would be the greatest struggle that his church faces, or greatest challenge? And this is where things changed in my life. In the next episode, we will dive into Pastor Cosmos's answer to that question of their greatest challenge. And I think it will be challenging to us. His greatest challenge became my challenge. And we will look at that in the next episode. So check it out. It's some more good stuff.